Welcome to Murf's Turf, a Star Trek Prodigy podcast. This is Star Trek's first kids show made for kids by a bunch of people who like to think of themselves as kids, I'm sure. I don't know. I've never actually met the producers, but they all seem like amazing people because they are making an amazing show. This show is on Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus. My name is Brent, aka Dad, and with me is my progeny, although he's not cloned, Jude. Say hi, Jude.
Hi, Jude.
Jude, I just want to take a moment and welcome some new people to the show who have joined us. When we started doing this, Prodigy was only available on Paramount Plus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like we started doing this back was it right before Halloween or something like that?
No, maybe actually.
Yeah, it was right before Halloween. Anyway, so we started doing that, and then the thing is in the break, because they've had this big break.
Yeah, I know. I hate them for it.
No, don't hate them. Just hate the break.
I hate the break.
Hate the evil studio executives that forced them to take a break. That's who we'll blame it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't hate people here at Murf's Turf. We love everybody because Murf loves everybody, Jude.
Yep.
Anyway, here's the thing. The show's not just on Paramount Plus anymore.
Wait,
it's now on Nickelodeon. It's now actually on TV. So people who don't have Paramount Plus, people who have Nickelodeon can now also watch Star Trek Prodigy. So however you have found us, if you've been with us since the beginning, if you have started catching up with Prodigy because it's now on Nickelodeon, or maybe you're catching up with us now with the new set of episodes that are releasing, whatever way, we're glad you're here. So say welcome.
Hi.
And honestly, we hope you guys have just as much fun listening to this episode as we do making it. Jude, we're finally back.
Yay!
We're finally back, buddy. It's been so long.
Yeah, I know. Next time we should actually do a show in between. Maybe we could do Voltron. I've been wanting to watch Voltron with you for a really long time.
Yeah, we talked about that in our last episode, episode 5, that we actually recorded on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, and then we only got half of it done, and then we did it like right before we went to Great Wolf's Lodge at.
Yeah, that's like a week later. You're right. I forgot about that. We recorded the episode over 3 different days of like a week apart. And then holidays hit. We just never got that episode out. But you know, the other thing too, Jude, honestly, for me was because the show had sort of gone on this hiatus. Do you know what the word hiatus means?
No, wait. I think that's good.
Basically, it just means like a short break. If something goes on hiatus, it doesn't mean you've stopped it. It's not ended. You're just on a break. Okay.
Okay.
So Dude just looked at me funny? Like, yeah, I had Ross and Rachel stuff going on in my mind. You won't understand it, but all the old folks out there will totally get Ross. We were on a break. Anyway, they went on hiatus. They just went on a break.
Okay.
And it was like, as long as we didn't release the episode to me, it was like we were never really on a break, you know? So yeah, I kept pushing it off, right? But anyway, hey, we're releasing it the same week as this one. So hope you guys enjoyed episode 5, and sorry that was late. Honestly, it's probably more my fault than it was Jude's. Actually, 100% more my fault than Jude's. But we're also now here with episode 6, Jude, and we're here to discuss the 6th episode, Kobayashi of Star Trek Prodigy. Oh my word, what a great episode.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, if I had to rank them, it's probably this one, the first, and then I forget all the others.
You know what I love about ranking? Or actually, I think one of the things I hate about ranking is when you rank, you have to put something first and something second, something third. But then there's always what you put at the bottom.
Yeah, I know. And like sometimes at the bottom, you still like it, but it's just not your favorite.
Exactly. It's like, I love them all, but if you force me to put them in order, that's just the one at the bottom. It doesn't mean I don't like it. It just means I liked all the other ones better, but I still like that one. you know?
No, I've loved every Prodigy show that comes out.
Oh, they've been so good. There's only been 6, and we need like 60 more for the first season. And then I want like 60 seasons.
Oh no.
Yeah, those producers are probably Brent, hush. Anyway, but Jude, the show has finally come back off of a hiatus, a really long hiatus. It was like a 6-week long hiatus. I'm going to say that word a lot, hiatus. It feels so much longer than that though. Way back before Thanksgiving, they played the first 5 episodes, which was like one story arc of like, I guess, how the crew got together and stuff like that. Yeah. And then they took this little break and now they're back. And apparently we're getting 5 more brand new episodes.
And then
and that counts this one. So there's only 4 more after this one.
Oh, no.
I know, right?
And yeah,
but we'll enjoy them while they're here. And then after this, there's going to be another break and we have no idea how long that's going to be for. But we are told that they're going to eventually come back sometime in this year with 10 more episodes. Now, I don't know if that other 10 episodes is going to combine with this one to make a season 1, or if like this is season 1 and then that's going to be season 2. Honestly, Jude, that's probably something that only matters to old people. Kids like you don't really care whether it's season 1 or season 2. It's more just like, give me more Prodigy. I don't care. Call it whatever you want. Just give me more Prodigy, right?
Yeah. Give me this show that I probably don't even know the name of, but I love it.
But you do know the name of it.
Yeah, I know, but some kids.
Oh, yeah. They're like that. Think about that. There's probably some kids out there watching this. Like, they don't know that it's called Star Trek Prodigy. They just know they love the show.
Yeah.
Because the show's that great. And can we just mention again how beautiful the show is?
Oh my gosh.
It's like you and I were watching the intro and it came up with that little thing that said like skip intro. And you're like, hey, Dad, you can skip the intro. I was like, yeah, I know, but I want to watch it.
Yeah, I know, because we watched the 5th episode and like we just saw it, but
yeah,
still, I love it.
Oh, it's so good. It's just so good. Anyway, so Jude, anyway, can I just say congratulations to all the writers and the producers and the crew and the cast of Star Trek Prodigy.
I know, right?
You guys, I mean, it's so well deserved. Welcome back. I know you guys have been getting so much love out there from so many people. Well deserved. I have one complaint. Why the hiatus, man? Why? That's my biggest complaint. No, just give us, that's the demand. The public's demanding. Give us more Prodigy. Anyway, Jude, one of the
Prodigy.
I love it. Jude, one of the things that we love the most here at Murf's Turf.
What?
Is getting emails and tweets. Do you know what a tweet is?
Question mark above my head.
So there's a thing out there called Twitter, okay, where people can send like short little messages. Okay, so emails like for big long messages. Twitter's like for short little messages. So we get emails, we get tweets, and we love getting to read them here on air. Now, you never know until this moment right here when we're recording whether we've got anything or not.
Yeah, no, like that time you kept the secret that I'm sorry, I forgot your name. DJ, RJ?
AJ, wasn't it?
AJ, maybe. Sorry, I forgot your name.
But still.
Yeah, but still, that was really cool. Thank you. I love getting messages like that.
Maybe it was CJ?
CJ, yeah.
I think it was CJ. It might have been CJ. Sorry, I'm with you. I'm sorry. I forget exactly. There's just been so much. It's been so, you know what it is, Jude?
What?
It's the hiatus.
Yeah.
That's it. Anyway, we love getting emails from people. We also got an email from Jeremy, if you remember, from the Trek, Trek Wars podcast. Mm-hmm. Well, we didn't get an email this week.
Okay.
Blame it on
hiatus.
We've said that word so many times.
Hiatus.
But Jude, we got a tweet. And we love getting stuff from everybody, but you know who it's super cool to get stuff from?
Who?
Are the people who actually make the show.
I know.
And we got a tweet from a guy named Aaron, who is an executive producer on the show.
Which means he edits it?
No, that means he's one of the guys who's like putting the whole thing on. Okay. Like he's one of the guys in charge.
Like he's one of the people who just click the button. People, go watch Prodigy. It's out.
Maybe that's his job, is go watch it. Anyway, Aaron, so I sent out a tweet and a picture saying, hey, we're, Murf's Turf is back right before we watched tonight's episode. And he sent back a tweet. And this is what he said to you. He said, I'm a big fan. Jude's observations and predictions are very astute. Good stuff, Jude.
Thank you. And you said astute. I almost thought you said toot.
I'm not editing that out. No, Aaron, don't. There you go. Astute. Do you know what astute means, Jude?
No.
It means like smart.
Yeah.
You're like right there. So anyway, Aaron, thanks so much, man. And Aaron's actually like a lot of times when we tweet out about the show, like Aaron's one of the ones who usually likes it. He interacts with us a lot. And the people that make Star Trek Prodigy, actually the people that are making Star Trek today are very interactive with the fans, which is really super cool. But I don't think anybody is as interactive as the folks over at Prodigy. So you guys are awesome. Thanks so much. And hey, listen, if you guys out there want to contact us, anyone, you can do that by emailing us. Jude, do you remember what the email address is?
murfsturf@gmail.com.
So close. It's actually Murf's Turf Podcast podcast@gmail.com. Or there's a couple other ways they can get in touch with us. They can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts.
What's Apple Podcast?
Yeah, it's where a place where people can get their podcast, and they can leave reviews. So if you guys do that, we will read it on the next episode. And also, big news, Jude.
What?
We now have our own Twitter account.
Yeah.
Usually when people make new podcasts, they immediately make a new Twitter account. I didn't, because frankly, I didn't think anybody was going to listen to the show. I thought this would just be you and me, but folks have been digging the show.
Moving around.
I know, like folks have been all about this show. This show is like, it hit like top 50 in its category at some point.
Whoa,
yeah. I mean,
really?
like this show's just been blowing up. Frankly, this show's doing better than a couple of my other podcasts that I've had out there.
Like Beam Me Up, a Star Trek podcast, and what you used to do as Petercast.
Not quite that good, but it's still doing great. So thanks to everybody who's listening. But I just had to say, because I've only been running it off my own personal Twitter account. But so now we're out on Twitter. You guys can join us there. It's at Murf's Turf Pod. I would have said podcast, but it was too long. Murf's Turf Pod, at Murf's Turf Pod. You can tweet at us. You can DM us. Jude doesn't have any idea what that means. That's okay. Do that and we'll read it on the next episode. Okay, enough of that, Jude. Enough of that. All of that out of the way. It's time to talk about Star Trek Prodigy episode 6, Kobayashi. Fair warning to everyone out there. This is a spoiler-filled podcast. So if you're listening beyond this point,
had a couple.
Have we?
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, if you're listening beyond this point, we're going to assume that you've already seen this week's episode of Star Trek Prodigy. In this case, episode 6, Kobayashi. So final warning from this point forward, spoilers abound. Jude, would you like to try the recap of the episode?
Maybe, but I feel like I'm gonna mess up a word like I did before we started recording. It was like recrap.
Yep. That's actually exactly what you said out there. Welcome to podcasting with a 9-year-old boy, ladies and gentlemen. Jude has declined. I will go ahead and read the the recap. Having just barely escaped the clutches of our diviner, the crew has jumped over 4,000 light years, which Jankum tells us is impossible for any known starship. The crew... Impossible. The crew wants to head towards the Federation, but Dal pulls his self-appointed captain rank and says no. While Gwen deals with the questions of why her father chose the ship over her, Dal has his first holodeck experience where he tests himself on the Kobayashi Maru, the Federation's captain's test, where he learns a very important lesson from the golden members of Star Trek's past.
Like Spock and Odo and Scotty. I loved that one.
Who are the two ladies? Don't just name the dude. You got to name the ladies.
I think that one girl from the first show.
Yeah. What was her name? You might not. She's probably got the hardest to pronounce name.
I don't know. And
her name is Uhura.
Uhura.
Do not ask me to pronounce her first name. I know what it is. I cannot say it. Nyota, I think. Nyota. Okay. Anyway, okay. Uhura. And her name is Uhura.
The other girl was like maybe from Next Generation.
She was.
Is she the one who has like the telepathic mind, like who can read the future?
Nope, that was Deanna Troi. This one is Dr.
Oh yeah, Doctor.
Beverly Crusher is her name, played by the wonderful Gates McFadden. Michelle Nichols playing Uhura, and of course the other ones. So Jude, my young progeny, how'd you like this episode?
I thought it was one of the best. If I had to choose, I'd probably have to go back and watch them all again. But for right now, this is probably my favorite so far.
Why? Why do you think it was your favorite?
I don't know. I just like it.
What was it about it that you liked?
I just can't think of it. I don't know. I don't know what makes me like it so much.
Sometimes you just experience stuff and you don't really know why, but it doesn't make it any less real.
Like some people go on a roller coaster that does a full flip and love it. And a lot of them don't know why. A lot of people don't know why they like it, but they just do.
Interesting. So you hear that Star Trek Prodigy is like going on a roller coaster.
Except a roller coaster that starts for a week and then stops for like 6 weeks and then goes for...
You know what this was like? It's like we're climbing a hill. You get to a roller coaster, you're climbing. And then
you just
right?
stop.
Well, no, then you get to the top and like you shoot down and you go through and you do that first loop and then it just stopped. But you're in the middle of the track. Like you could still see track ahead. because of a hiatus. Anyway, we're going to rename this episode the one where we hate hiatus. All right. Jude, this episode, though, Kobayashi, there was so much that we learned.
I know.
In this episode about what's going on, where we are.
Yeah.
We got some new questions, I think, going forward.
I know. And I have a theory for Dow. Maybe doesn't know what kind of species he is.
Because people don't know what kind of species. Well, let's talk about that when we do. After
things we learned.
Okay, let's do that. Let's start then.
Moments.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine was at the very beginning. I like the intro.
Again? Were you watching it just like, oh, we're back. Oh, this is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
And when they get out of the warp drive and everyone's like, and then Jankum Pog feels like he's gonna barf. and like he says it in this type of way that's just so freaking funny.
Right.
And just like, yeah, and my next one is Murf ate a bomb.
He did. He ate a bunch of bombs.
Yeah. And like he blows up, but like it's like you're blowing it's like somebody was blowing a bubble, but like it never popped. It just it never popped. Oh, wait, no. But it did pop. Murf farted at the end. After he blew up, he farted.
Hey, listen, if you want to relate to kids, bodily functions, folks, bodily functions.
Also, I love the part when Spock, oh my gosh, Spock just does the super pinch thing.
Yeah, the Vulcan neck pinch. Have you ever heard of that before? Like, did you know that that's something they could do?
No. I did actually. Only because I watched a teensy bit of the animated show with you. And
that's right. We did watch that one episode. Yeah.
Also, I think I've seen it from Tuvok from Deep Space Nine, I think.
Nope,
maybe
Voyager.
Yeah.
Yep. Tuvok did it in a few places. That's called the Vulcan neck pinch, which is just.
Can you actually do it in real life?
No.
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 I mean, maybe if you're strong enough.
If you're strong enough, you just broke that person's neck and they're dead. They're not going to sleep. They're going to die. But yeah, the Vulcan neck pinch, man, that was cool for me as the old time fogey Trekkie. Like there was a lot in this episode for people like me who like you may
for Odo. I love Odo.
Yeah, Odo's great. There's lots of things that you may or may not have actually like that you may or may not have picked up on, but is just lots of fun stuff for old people like me who've been around Star Trek for a long time. And Odo is one of them.
Yeah.
What other favorite moments do you have, Jude?
I like when in the holodeck again. I love that they have holodecks in this.
Yeah, holodecks are great, man. I want a holodeck in my house.
I know. Just go. What I want to do is I just want pads on my body, and I just want to go tackle. I just want to tackle something sometimes.
Yeah.
And
just make sure you keep the safety protocols on.
Dang it. I feel like Lincoln Loud.
Do you know what I would do if we had a holodeck in the house?
What?
I would go be on the bridge of the Protostar with the crew. Like I'd be in Star Trek Prodigy right now if we had a holodeck here at the house.
Okay, sucking it all back in. Oh, I liked when before they started going through Janeway's mind. She said, "Okay, let me get a cup of coffee first."
Do you remember that I told you a while ago, like Janeway's thing was she was all about coffee?
Yeah.
So they brought that back.
I liked that. And I also loved the part when Scotty came in at the holodeck.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh my gosh. And then Dow just called him Mustache Jelly Man. Go do this.
Well, no, I think he was calling Scotty Mustache, and I think he was calling Odo Jelly Man. Which is great.
Mustache. Turn on a song that nobody probably knows, or somebody has to know it. I mean, because they put it in the thing. It has to be a song. Maybe it's a song just made for Prodigy.
Any other favorite moments, Jude?
Oh, yeah. At the very end, when they're going through her mind, Murf tries to eat one of the hollow things. So.
Did he? Oh,
Yeah.
I missed it.
You did?
Oh, yeah, I missed it. I must have been like taking a note.
I laughed out loud. How did you not miss it?
Can I tell you some of the things I didn't miss?
What?
Okay, so these are some of my favorite moments. When I saw the title of the episode called Kobayashi, okay? Because Kobayashi is something that if you've been watching Star Trek for a long time, you know that because we've heard of this thing called the Kobayashi Maru test. You remember that's the name of the test Dal was taking.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw Kobayashi, I went, I know what that is. That's the test that you take as a captain.
Ooh.
And I knew the whole time, I was like, it's a no-win situation. You can't win. And the whole point is to see how you handle a no-win situation where no matter what you do, you're going to lose. So how do you handle that as a captain? Like that's the whole point of the test. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, what's this going to be? Like, cause I didn't know that it was going to be the test itself. I just thought it, a lot of times we talk about what is your Kobayashi Maru? What is your test to see how good of a captain you are or a person you are, what's that big test. So I wasn't sure what it was going to be. The other one was the game. Remember when Dal had the little headset on and there was the cone and the ball?
That.
That's actually from an episode of Next Generation. The name of the episode is The Game from Next Generation, where they're watching that and it actually acted like some drug, acted like a drug addict thing. It's one of my favorite episodes.
Was Q involved?
He was not.
Oh.
He was not. But Matt and I did that over at Beam Me Up. It was a great episode. Okay. You mentioned, yeah, go ahead.
Q needs to show up. If Q does not show up in Prodigy.
All right, writers. All right, Prodigy writers. Season 2 is coming up. Make it happen. You heard the man. All the holodeck
Q.
simulations.
I want Q.
All the holodeck simulations, Jude, because they went through several of them. They're all references to old Star Trek stuff.
Oh, really?
Like the ice planet of Vandaria 4, the Caliphie, which was the thing they got the fighting sticks for. Janeway said, my favorite, a Jane Eyre novel. Well, they had Janeway having a Jane Eyre novel on Star Trek Voyager when they were doing that. And then when we got to the Kobayashi Maru, the bridge of the Enterprise D.
I know.
Captain Picard's bridge. I was like, ah. And then later when we saw that when they beamed over to the Klingon ship and we were looking out of the view screen at the Enterprise, it was the D. And I was like, it's the D. It's the D. And then you mentioned
my favorite starship. I don't know.
Is that your favorite one? You like the D a lot?
Maybe. I like the new Protostar too.
The Protostar's pretty awesome.
I know.
Protostar's pretty awesome.
I love how it transforms. When it started transforming, I thought it was like going to transform into like the Purple Ranger from Super Dino Charge, where
from Power, are we not talking about Power Rangers?
Yeah.
So we saw the D. Oh, it made my heart so happy. I loved that moment.
I love the D.
And the D looked
awesome.
So good.
Gorgeous.
Animated. Like, oh gosh, it was so good. It was so good. You mentioned the Vulcan neck pinch. Here's something that I noticed. So the voices of Spock and Odo and Scotty and Uhura and Beverly Crusher. Actually, I'm not sure about Uhura and Beverly Crusher, but I know for the other 3, those were actually the actors' voices.
Oh, really?
But all of those actors have passed away. So in order to do that, what they did was they actually went back to old episodes of Star Trek and pulled those lines. And I knew where most of those lines, I was like, oh, I know that episode that came from. I know that episode where that came from. Now, Nichelle Nichols, who plays Uhura, and Gates McFadden, who plays Beverly Crusher, they're still alive. So I'm not actually sure if they came in and recorded new lines or if they pulled theirs from other episodes as well. I don't know, but I knew the other guys. Obviously, I was focusing on them because I knew that those guys had passed away.
Yeah.
And I loved at the very, very end of the episode, they said, in loving memory of Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock, and James Doohan, who played Scotty, and Renee, I always say his last name incorrectly. It's Abujanois, I think is how he says it, or Abergenoy. I don't know. Anyway, Renee, I'm just going to call him Renee. And in loving memory of Renee, who played Odo, who taught us to boldly go or something like that. It was a great little
to boldly go where nobody's ever gone before.
There you go. And then I got one more.
Civilizations.
I got one more at the very end. A Captain Chakotay.
Oh yeah.
Was the original captain of the Protostar.
Oh my God. Okay, that's higher than Evie's hype it.
Because it's the first thing that we have on screen of what happened to Voyager after it gets home. Spoiler alert.
Wait.
Like, yeah, you know this by now. We've talked about it. Okay. It's the first thing that we know of what happened to Chakotay afterwards, and the idea that Chakotay stayed in Starfleet, and that's a whole thing because it has to do with that. So anyway, so yeah, those were favorite moments. Jude, let's talk about some things we learned. What did we learn and these are like, previously we have questions we have to be answered and stuff. These are questions that got answered, or facts that we learned about. What did we learn in today's episode? What'd you pick up?
Has a brain. He actually thought he had a whole plan to beat the Klingons. Put up this music, which I have no idea the name of. Distract them. That was
Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
AC/DC?
AC/DC.
AC/DC?
Okay, we'll talk about it later. Go ahead.
And they charged up their engine to like 130%, and then they just injected it at the Klingons. And then when they just kicked butt with Spock and Dow with the little phaser, pinch, Klingons going. And then Dow sits in the captain's chair, throws his foot up, and it falls on the phaser button.
Yeah. He beat it. He beat it until he didn't. So I wrote at that point, I went, did Dow just beat the Kobayashi Maru? And then he didn't. And I went, like, my guess is because it's designed to never win, to never let you win, that the program went, oh, wherever you just put your foot, that's going to be the phaser. Now we're going to blow up your ship. Like I think that's what it was. I don't think that was just an accident.
Or maybe like there's like a brain hive of like Klingons, and like they can fire phasers from the Klingons planet like whenever the heck they want. You have any theories of how the phasers got fired, or do you think somehow he beat it and then he just threw his foot up there?
Yeah, I think he actually beat it, and the computer program went, no, you don't. Let's figure out a way to make you lose yet again, because it's a really smart computer program. That's what I think it was.
Yeah.
So because that's the whole point. You're not allowed to actually win the Kobayashi Maru. Actually, the whole thing about the Kobayashi Maru was there's only one person who's ever beaten it in the entire history of Star Trek, of the Federation. It was Captain Kirk. But the only reason why he beat it was because he cheated.
How?
He altered the program. He changed the program. So he really didn't ever beat the Kobayashi Maru.
Cheeky Kirk. Cheeky Kirk. Cheeky Kirk.
Okay. All right. What else did you learn? Did you learn anything else? Any questions answered in this particular episode?
Yeah. So now we know why the Diviner chose the ship instead.
Why?
Because Gwyn was cloned, and he might have thought that he could just clone another Gwyn. Gwynx 2.0, the new and in.
So why does him cloning Gwyn again? What does that have to do with the ship?
Well, maybe that's why he went for the ship instead of saving Gwyn.
Oh, because he could just clone her again if he wanted to? Oh, yeah.
Okay, this.
I want to talk about that because go ahead.
Yeah, the beginning, okay? Not because I liked it, because when the protostar is going so fast, it's like cutting light, and from like where it's going, it makes like a dome shape, and from far away, it looks like the badge thing that they wear.
It looks like the Delta. Very good. Good job catching up on that, Jude. That's really awesome.
And also we know where they are. They're in the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah, which we suspected that, and then I said a couple episodes ago that it absolutely has to be confirmed, because they said that the planet that they land on, remember that murder planet they had? They told us in the show that was in Hirogen space, and Hirogen space is in the Delta Quadrant.
What's Hirogen? Is that the thing that bounced Voyager like 70,000 light years away?
No, it's just a group of aliens that were found in the Delta Quadrant during the show Voyager. Oh. So that's how we knew. But it did say that the protostar, in however long they had it turned on, sent them 4,000 light years. Now, you know how long it's supposed to take you to go 4,000 light years?
I said
4,000 light years, not 4 light years, 4,000 light years. Do you know how long it's supposed to take the average starship to travel 4,000 light years?
How?
4 years.
How? Wow. And they traveled in like 5 seconds.
And they did it in like 10, 15 seconds. So that's pretty quick. And that's where Jankum was like, no ship can travel that fast. Well, apparently the protostar can.
Because there's a freaking star. Wait, how do they know they didn't go fast? What if because there was a baby star inside, maybe they teleported because maybe the star has like some kinetic field where like it can
opened up a wormhole and bam, there they are. Yeah. Folded space. Sure.
Yeah. Cut space in half and then just went through.
Possibly. I've got a few things we learned. Did you have anything else?
Yes. Murf is indestructible and awesome.
We did learn Murf is indestructible. It does seem that to be the case.
Do you think he would survive?
He's also see-through.
I know.
See-through him, yeah.
It's gross, kind of.
Right? All right, so I've got a couple of things for you.
Okay, give me.
All right, one of the things that we learned in this was there is no emergency medical hologram in sickbay.
Yes.
So that's something, because that was a question that I had several episodes ago. I said, I wonder if there is an EMH in sickbay. If they have Janeway as a hologram, do they also have the EMH out there?
I mean, they probably do, but it
doesn't.
was just a broken leg. So, and also how smart Zero is, they probably didn't need the
EMH.
EMH, yeah.
You're right. It doesn't really, I guess, close the door on the idea that there could be an EMH, but it doesn't appear that there is one. But if the writers wanted to go back and put one in, nobody would complain. No. We also learned Gwen heals really fast.
Yeah.
She's like, wow, that's amazing. Zero was like, wow, that's amazing. You're healing really fast. She's like, except for my emotions, they're still hurting. But yeah, Gwen can heal really fast. But we also learned from the flashback that, as you said, Gwen was meant to be his clone. She was going to replace the diviner because it looked like he was dying, right? And she was going to go on. But it seems like almost the protostar. This is my theory. Can I spin a theory for you?
Sure, go ahead.
I think our diviner was dying. Okay. And there's this order, and this goes kind of into my questions. Apparently there's this order that they talked about where they're not allowed to reproduce or make clones of themselves or something like that. I want to know more about that order, but our diviner defied the rules, made a clone, which turned out to be Gwen, but then he became aware of the protostar. And I think that this is my theory. I think the protostar, whatever was going on with that, was going to heal him and make him be able to be young. So then he actually didn't need Gwen anymore, because Gwen's whole thing was for him to be able to continue to live. But if he can live himself, then he doesn't need Gwen, because she's just a clone. She's not anybody.
Whoa.
And that's why he chose the ship over her, because the ship means he could live. She's whatever.
Oh, and maybe that's why the only gift that she got was the gold mine thing. And the only reason why she was the only one who could control it is her, because when she was cloned, it was connected to her head.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Could be. Absolutely could be.
And also she was not born a baby like...
Yeah, she was a clone. She grew in a tube in a whatever thing. So yeah. So we learned that. We also learned Janeway's memory, the protostar's first mission, the first crew. All of that information is classic. No, Chakotay. Chipotle is the restaurant. Protostar's mission was classified, and like they jumbled her memory and all that kind of stuff. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. So does that mean that Starfleet can like send drones out there and they still have full control over them?
It's possible.
So does that mean that Starfleet knew that the protostar was away and then they couldn't reach it? But then when it turned on, they have all the cameras, and maybe Starfleet knows that there's this bunch of teenagers who have been captured by this weird dude who keeps bringing kids, and forget his species. And so maybe Starfleet knows all this, and maybe hologram Janeway is playing along.
Maybe.
So that they don't get all worried. Janeway probably already knows, because like Janeway's the ship.
That's not what I thought you just said for a second there, but yes, you're right. So Janeway is the ship. It's true.
Or she's not literally the ship, but like she's inside of the ship. Like her program is inside of the ship. So does that mean that she's probably heard all of them talking and doing stuff? And maybe now they know, or now she knows.
Maybe,
and
man.
Now she's contacted the Federation, and I don't know. But we're getting off topic. Let's go back.
Those are all theories, Jude. Like those are certainly theories. Do you have any theories going forward?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe Dal is a clone.
Oh, you said that. You said you wanted to talk about why you thought we don't know what species Dal is. So talk to us about that.
So Dal came from the Diviner.
Mm-hmm.
Or we don't know where Dal or any of the other people came from.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know. But I'm just assuming maybe, or one of my theories is that maybe the Diviner cloned a species that nobody knew.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe like he could have sold him as like a slave, as like the only thing of his species. And so, yeah. And maybe that's why he has like the weird tube back thing on his neck. Maybe they just forgot to take it off.
The weird tube back thing on the back of his neck.
Or the back of his head. You don't know what I'm talking about?
I'm looking at pictures of him right now just to see if I know exactly what you're talking. Because I thought it was just hair that he had.
Oh no.
Oh no, you're right. Oh, it's like his head has a tail.
I know.
Oh, I just thought that was like a ponytail from his hair. No, that's like his head. Oh, what is that?
Okay. Now you do like a whole camera thing with your podcast, with your other Star Trek podcast.
Uh-huh.
I wish we had a camera on you.
Please let that just be some really tight braid of his hair.
I know, right?
Because that is what? No, that is his skin.
Ew.
That is absolutely his skin. That's not his hair. What is that?
No.
All right, I need a back shot. I need a shot of the back of his head. His head has a tail.
You guys need. Oh my gosh! You guys need to be here right now. You need to look at his face.
And it's really long.
I know, right? Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and watch like all 6 episodes again just so I can try to grab a shot of the back of Dal RL's head. Okay, interesting. So you think he might be a clone too?
Maybe.
Just like Gwen.
Yes.
All right.
Spock and Odo.
What about him?
Why them? Why was it Spock and Odo? Oh wait, no. My question was, why was Odo? Wait, no. Odo is the chief of security. Why is he doing the little bridge thing with the computer? He's supposed to be head chief of security.
He was flying the ship. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And also that's kind of similar with Lower Decks, where their chief of security is on the bridge too.
Mm-hmm.
Big band of hooligans.
Yeah. So I think
kids that do not like hearing cuss words should not watch that show.
Lower Decks, you mean?
Yeah, or any Star Trek show except for Prodigy.
That's not a show that is directed at kids.
No.
And honestly, I would even say the original animated series, while they made it for a Saturday morning cartoon, is not.
Morning.
Yeah. Well, you're young enough, you don't understand Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah, dude. Back in the day, kids used to not really get cartoons until Saturday morning, and we'd wake up early while mom and dad slept in and just watch cartoons in the morning on Saturday. That's when we had cartoons. We didn't get them the rest of the week.
Poor guys.
Yeah, that was me. Wow.
When you can just throw on YouTube.
Yeah, that just
and
dates
watch
me.
whatever you want.
So
another one is, are we going to go to the Federation, or are we just going to keep running away?
I want to dive into that, because let's talk about the lesson specifically that Dal learned in today's episode. Like the big lesson. Do you remember what it was? It's a phrase you need to know. What is it?
Like, you can't win everything.
Mm-hmm. That's one of them. But here, let me start it for you. See if you can finish it.
Okay.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So say that back with me. The needs of the many.
The needs of the many.
Outweigh the needs of the few.
The needs of the few.
Few. That's something that we learned from Spock way back in the original series. Okay.
Really?
What do you think that means?
You should put other people in front of you.
Yeah.
Or complete opposite if somebody's holding a gun at somebody.
So
you should get in front of them.
Yeah. I mean, it really, you hit it right. You should put the needs of other people in front of your own needs. The needs of the many people are greater than the needs of just a few people.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Like a few people could eat or they only need just like a small apartment, but a big crowd of people will need a neighborhood or a whole city.
Yeah. And if you're a captain, let's say you have to make a decision.
You could either.
And this decision is either it's going to help a whole lot of people, but maybe not a few, or it's going to help a few, but it's going to hurt a whole lot of people. Which decision do you go with? Do you make the decision that impacts the greatest number of people for the good?
No.
Yeah. I don't think you actually let me finish saying that before you answered. Do you make the decision that does good for the greatest number of people? Or do you make a decision that does good just for the few people, even if it hurts the rest of the people?
For the many of people.
That's right. Yeah. You gotta do that for the many, but usually that means doing it for
other people.
Yeah. You gotta put that. And remember earlier in the episode, the whole crew came to Dow and was like, hey, we want to go to the Federation. And Dow was like, too bad, I don't want to. So anyway, Jude, I think that was honestly the big lesson. I think if you said what was the lesson of this episode, I think it was that. But there was one other lesson that I got out of it that I thought was pretty deep that I don't know that you would have picked out. There's the moment where
hit me.
Hit me with it. There's the moment where Gwen is in the bed and she goes, I can't do anything with our diviner anymore, so I'm lost there. And then she thought that Dow was kind of being a little bit of a jerk to her a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
And she was like, I'm not really going to do anything here. And although she didn't say that, she's talking to Zero and she's like, I just don't know where I fit in anymore. And Zero says, hey, I didn't know what to do when I was taken away from my people, but I found a new purpose here.
You
and he
mean the
said,
hive mind?
Yeah, the hive mind. But he said, I found a new purpose here. And he said, you can find a new purpose here too. And I thought that's a great message that even if this door is shut, even if this doesn't work for you anymore, hope isn't lost. You can still do good with whatever situation you find yourself in.
Like the main door of Hogwarts is broken. You can still go through the one from behind the statue of the witch or something. Just because one door trying to get out of a castle is broken doesn't mean that all the others are broken too. You can still get out of that situation, just you can't go through that way.
Fair enough. All right, Jude. Let's wrap this up. Let's bring it home. We've watched the episode. We've discussed Star Trek Prodigy episode 6. What questions do you have going forward? And do you have any thoughts about what we're going to see on next week's episode?
I think that Dow is going to listen to his crew for once because that was the whole Kobayashi, Hachi, whatever.
Kobayashi Maru?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he learned to listen to his crew, not just come up with his own idea. And I think that they're either going to go to the Federation now. Maybe they'll start on their journey towards the Federation. Yes. Yeah. Or they're going to do a thing where they just go away from the Federation. Mm-hmm. And then once they're once they've traveled a light year away, mm-hmm. Dal is going to realize that his crew was correct. Yeah. And that they should go to the Federation. Will he finally realize it, you think? Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I actually wonder if this wasn't the episode where that happened. If this is the episode where Dal's kind of said that. Because I think you might be right. I think we might see them in next week's episode finally at least start making their way towards the Federation. Yeah. I'm not sure. I really want to know, and I think they'll have to, the two things is they're going to dive more into the diviner's backstory. Yes. Because we got that little bit of a flashback. So we'll have to find, I mentioned that order, they referenced the order won't let you do this. We got to find out more about that. But then also, what was the Protostar's original mission? Why is it classified? What happened to Captain Chakotay and the original crew? Where are they? Or did they get captured by the diviner? And now they're trapped in the Delta Quadrant somewhere. And now this new crew of the Protostar has to try to go rescue the old crew of the Protostar. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that could be cool. Yeah. If the camera wasn't on, you would probably have gone. The cousin would. Oh, no, I would not have. Maybe. No. And then here's my question. What's Murf's deal? Is he really indestructible? Because it sure seems like it. He seems awesome. He farted out an exploding bomb. He did. In the little at the end. And maybe that they don't know that they have to rescue Chipotle.
Chakotay.
and maybe they don't know it yet. And like they somehow they go through Gwen's mind. Maybe kind of because like she's a clone, and they said that she was copied after the diviner.
Yeah.
Which the diviner.
So maybe all that knowledge rests in her. She just doesn't know it yet. Yeah. Could be.
And then she goes to a place that maybe reminds her of like of where her father has been because she has like the same mind as him. Maybe then they start calling for the Federation to come help them. Because I was talking like maybe the Federation is still in touch with the Protostar. So maybe they start calling the rest of the Federation through like a phone thing and then they come help. So maybe that could all happen. Maybe something else. But yeah, that's just a theory. Maybe the diviner's gonna find out some way that he's gonna go through his mind to go through Gwen's mind to know where they are. And then maybe Gwen finds out a way to like.
Are you just writing the whole rest of the season for him right now?
Maybe.
You're breaking the episodes that they've already made.
I don't know. And like somehow she like hacks into her head, and by hacking into her head, she hacks into the diviner's head, and then she like finds out that
Chakotay.
I wanted to say Chipotle. Why can I never remember that name? Okay, and like they call for and like they keep looking for them, and then like they keep going through these murder planets, and maybe every time that they go through the murder planets, they like find Chakotay. Yeah, you got it right.
There you go. Good job.
They get Chakotay, or maybe Chakotay's like one of the last people they rescue, and we don't know who the rest of the crew is. Maybe another one of the crew is Odo? Wait, no, Odo's from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, but I mean, they all live in the same area, so it's possible that by the time we get here, Odo has jumped over to join Captain Chakotay's ship. That's possible. I doubt it because the actor who played Odo, like I said earlier, has passed away. So they'd have a hard time voicing him unless they hired somebody who could sound a lot like him, you know. But I mean, Jude, those are, you just spun a novel's worth of theories about where the show could go. So we'll find out next week, man. We'll find out next week. Jude, you got any closing thoughts for the folks out there as we wrap up this show?
Yeah, maybe, or I don't know. Maybe you guys could get this episode or this double episode out. And maybe if after this week's episode, maybe we could get out 2 episodes in the same week for you guys.
All right. Jude, you want to remind the folks out there how they can get in touch with us if they want to contact us about this episode, anything they've heard here or anything about the next episodes?
Murf's Turf podcast at gmail.com.
Or do you remember our brand spanking new Twitter address?
What?
Brand spanking new. Remember the Twitter address?
Murf's Turf Pod.
That's it. Yeah. At Murf's Turf Pod. You guys can check us out there. And
with the A with the little circle thing around it, I think.
Yep, that's right. That's at. So you guys could do that. Man, I'm excited. I can't wait to see where the show goes next. You know what I mean, Jude?
Yeah.
So.
Bye, guys. See you this week or next week, maybe.
Oh, it'll be next week.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe later this week.
Maybe.
When the next episode comes out. Should be good stuff. Until next time, folks, thanks for joining us. You guys are amazing. Live long and prosper. Jude, give us a sound from Murf. All right, bye, guys.